Welcome back to my YouTube channel USA Historical Coins PK. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of rare US coins, especially the legendary Nobo 1 dime series, and a few surprise treasures that collectors dream about. From the iconic designs and mint marks like D, S, and P, to coins that look ordinary but can be worth thousands or even millions. This is where history meets hidden wealth. So before you spend that old coin, you might want to check twice. It could be a fortune in your hands. Let's jump into the top 4 most valuable 1 dime and rare US coins you should know about. Top 1. The 1981 D. Roosevelt dime is a United States 10-cent coin that was struck at the Denver Mint in 1981. The D mint mark on the coin stands for Denver, meaning it was produced at the United States Mint facility in Denver, Colorado. This dime belongs to the Roosevelt dime series, which first began in 1946 to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. Roosevelt was chosen for the dime because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and also because of his connection with the March of Dimes campaign, which fought polio. The front side of the coin, known as the obverse, displays a portrait of Roosevelt facing left. Around his image are the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1981. The phrase liberty represents the American ideal of freedom, while In God We Trust is the official national motto of the United States. The reverse side of the coin shows a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, with an olive branch on one side representing peace, and an oak branch on the other side representing strength and independence. Around the reverse edge appears the inscription, United States of America, along with 1 dime, indicating the coin's value. The phrase, E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, is also included, reflecting the union of the American states into one nation. The 1981 D dime was made from a copper-nickel clad composition rather than silver. Earlier dimes made before 1965 contained 90% silver, but rising silver prices caused the US government to switch to clad coinage. The 1981 D dime therefore contains an inner core of pure copper covered by outer layers of copper and nickel. It weighs approximately 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters with a reeded edge, meaning the sides have tiny grooves. Millions of these coins were produced for circulation, making most examples common in everyday pocket change. However, collectors still search for high-grade uncirculated examples with strong details and original mint luster. Coins graded MS 65 or higher by professional grading companies can be worth more than face value, especially if they have few marks and bright surfaces. Certain errors or varieties, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or missing mint marks, may also attract collector interest and increase value significantly. Historically, the early 1980s were a challenging economic period in the United States, with inflation, high interest rates, and recession affecting daily life. Coins like the 1981 D dime circulated widely during this time, making them a small but real piece of American economic history. Many collectors appreciate Roosevelt dimes because they are affordable, easy to collect by date and mint mark, and connected to important moments in American history. The design of the Roosevelt dime was created by sculptor John R. Sinek, whose initials JS appear near Roosevelt's neck on the obverse. Some people once mistakenly believed the initials stood for Joseph Stalin during the Cold War era, but they actually honor the designer. Over time, the Roosevelt dime became one of the most recognized coins in American circulation. Although the 1981 D dime is not usually rare, pristine examples, proof-like coins, or certified specimens can still command higher prices among collectors. For most circulated pieces, the value remains around 10 cents to a few dollars, depending on condition. Collectors often examine details such as strike quality, luster, scratches, and wear before determining value. The inscriptions on the coin carry deep symbolic meaning connected to American identity. Liberty reflects the nation's commitment to freedom and democracy. In God We Trust expresses a traditional national motto that began appearing on US coins during the 19th century and became official in the 1950s. E pluribus unum is a Latin phrase adopted in early American history to symbolize unity among the states. The torch on the reverse is inspired by classical symbols of enlightenment and freedom. The olive branch traces back to ancient Greece and Rome as a symbol of peace, while the oak branch represents strength and endurance. Together, these images communicate ideals that the United States wished to project through its currency. Even a small coin like the 1981 D-dime therefore combines art, politics, economics, and national symbolism into a compact historical object that millions of people used in everyday transactions. Top 2. The 1983 P. Roosevelt dime is a United States 10-cent coin issued by the United States Mint in 1983 at the Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark on the coin stands for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is one of the oldest and most important minting facilities in the United States. Before 1980, Philadelphia dimes usually carried no mint mark, but beginning in 1980, the mint started placing the P on dimes to identify their origin. This coin belongs to the Roosevelt dime series, first introduced in 1946 to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt shortly after his death. Roosevelt was highly respected for leading the country through the Great Depression and most of World War II. He also became associated with the March of Dimes campaign because he suffered from polio and supported efforts to fight the disease. For this reason, the US government selected the dime as a tribute to his life and service. The front side of the coin, called the obverse, shows Roosevelt's left-facing portrait designed by Chief Engraver John R. Sinek. Around the portrait appear the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 1983. The word liberty represents the American ideal of personal and political freedom, while In God We Trust is the national motto of the United States and reflects a historical expression of faith and national identity. On the reverse side of the 1983 P-dime is a carefully balanced design featuring a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. To the left of the torch is an olive branch, representing peace, and to the right is an oak branch, symbolizing strength, courage, and independence. Around the outer edge are the inscriptions United States of America and one dime, identifying the country and the denomination of the coin. Near the center is the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. This motto reflects the creation of one unified nation formed from many states and people. The design combines patriotic symbolism with classical artistic traditions. Although the dime is small in size, its design carries important cultural and political messages connected to the identity of the United States. The Roosevelt dime has remained one of the most widely recognized American coins because it is commonly used in everyday commerce and has circulated continuously for decades. The 1983 P-dime is especially interesting to coin collectors because coins from 1982 and 1983 were not included in official US Mint uncirculated sets. Due to budget cuts and economic conditions at the time, collectors had to obtain high-quality examples directly from circulation. As a result, truly uncirculated 1983 P-dimes with strong mint luster and minimal contact marks are harder to find than many other modern dimes. While millions of 1983 P-dimes were produced, most entered heavy circulation and developed scratches, wear and dull surfaces over time. Collectors therefore pay special attention to coins graded in mint state condition by professional grading services. High-grade examples, particularly those with full torch details on the reverse, can be significantly more valuable than ordinary circulated pieces. In normal circulated condition, the coin is usually worth only its face value of 10 cents, but premium uncirculated coins may sell for much higher prices depending on condition and rarity. Era coins from 1983 P-dimes are also popular among collectors. Some examples include off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, or coins struck on incorrect metal blanks. Such minting mistakes can increase the coin's collector value substantially. The coin itself is made of a copper-nickel clad composition. It contains an inner core of pure copper covered by outer layers of copper and nickel, giving the coin its silver-colored appearance. Unlike dimes minted before 1965, the 1983 P-dime contains no silver. Rising silver prices during the 1960s forced the US government to change coin compositions to less expensive metals. The dime weighs approximately 2.27 grams, measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge with small grooves around the side. These grooves were originally intended to prevent people from shaving precious metal from coins when silver was used in circulation. Even though modern dimes no longer contain silver, the reeded edge remains part of the traditional design. The Roosevelt dime's compact size and durability make it practical for everyday use, and billions have circulated throughout the country over many decades. The historical background of the early 1980s adds another layer of significance to the 1983 p-dime. During this period, the United States faced economic challenges including inflation, unemployment, and industrial changes. The country was also in the midst of the Cold War, creating political tension between the United States and the Soviet Union. Coins from this era therefore represent not only monetary value, but also a connection top 3. The 1988 D. Roosevelt dime is a 10-cent coin issued by the United States Mint at the Denver Mint in 1988. The small letter D, found on the obverse side of the coin, indicates that it was struck in Denver, Colorado. This coin is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been continuously produced since 1946 in honor of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was one of the most influential presidents in American history, serving 4 terms during the Great Depression and most of World War II. He was admired for his leadership, his New Deal programs designed to rebuild the economy, and his support of social welfare programs. Roosevelt also became closely linked with the March of Dimes organization because he suffered from polio and supported fundraising campaigns to fight the disease. After his death in 1945, the United States chose to place his portrait on the dime as a tribute to his achievements and humanitarian influence. The Roosevelt dime replaced the earlier Mercury dime design and quickly became one of the most recognized coins in American circulation. The 1988 D-dime continues this long tradition and reflects both national history and everyday American commerce. The front side of the 1988 D-dime, known as the obverse, displays a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. The portrait was designed by John R. Sinek, who served as chief engraver of the United States Mint. Around Roosevelt's image are the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the year 1988. The word liberty symbolizes the American belief in freedom, democracy, and individual rights. It is one of the most common inscriptions on United States coinage and reflects the political ideals upon which the nation was founded. The phrase, "In God We Trust," is the official national motto of the United States. It first appeared on American coins during the 19th century and became mandatory on most U.S. currency during the 20th century. Many Americans view the phrase as a symbol of faith, patriotism, and national heritage. The D mint mark appears near the date and identifies the Denver Mint as the production location. Small details such as lettering style, strike quality, and mint luster are important to collectors when evaluating the condition and value of the coin. The reverse side of the 1988 D. Roosevelt dime contains a symbolic design centered around a flaming torch. The torch represents liberty, enlightenment, and the enduring spirit of freedom. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch, which traditionally symbolizes peace. On the right side is an oak branch, representing strength, stability, courage, and independence. Together, these elements create a balanced patriotic design that communicates national ideals. Around the upper edge of the reverse side are the words United States of America, identifying the issuing nation. Near the bottom appears 1 dime, indicating the denomination of the coin. Between the branches and below the torch is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many one. This phrase reflects the unity of the individual states forming one nation, and has been associated with the United States since the 18th century. The combination of classical symbols and patriotic inscriptions gives the dime both artistic and historical significance. Although the coin is small and commonly used in everyday life, its design reflects deeper ideas about unity, freedom, peace, and national identity. The 1988 D-dime was produced using a copper-nickel clad composition rather than silver. Earlier dimes minted before 1965 contained 90% silver, but increasing silver prices forced the United States government to adopt less expensive metals for circulating coinage. The modern dime contains a pure copper core surrounded by outer layers of copper and nickel, creating its silver-colored appearance. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters. Its edge is reeded, meaning it contains many tiny grooves around the sides. Reeded edges were originally introduced to prevent people from shaving precious metal from silver coins, although today they remain mainly as a traditional design feature. The durable clad composition allows the dime to withstand years of circulation without wearing out quickly. Millions of 1988 D-dimes were struck and released into circulation, making the coin relatively common in ordinary condition. Most circulated examples are worth only face value, but coins in excellent uncirculated condition may be worth more to collectors. Professional grading companies evaluate coins based on factors such as luster, strike sharpness, scratches, and wear. High-grade examples with strong details and bright original surfaces can command premium prices in the numismatic market. Coin collectors often search for varieties and minting errors among Roosevelt dimes, including the 1988 D issue. Some collectors look for doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped top 4. The 1999 P. Roosevelt dime is a United States 10-cent coin produced by the United States Mint at the Philadelphia Mint in 1999. The small p mint mark on the coin identifies Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as the place where it was struck. This coin belongs to the Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. Roosevelt is remembered as one of the most influential presidents in American history because he guided the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. He also supported the fight against polio through the March of Dimes campaign, which helped inspire the decision to place his image on the dime. Since its introduction, the Roosevelt dime has become one of the most widely recognized and commonly used coins in the United States. The 1999 P dime continued this long tradition at the end of the 20th century, a time when the United States was entering a new technological and economic era. Coins from this period reflect both modern American life and the continuation of long-standing national traditions expressed through U.S. currency. The obverse, or front side, of the 1999 P dime displays the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinek, chief engraver of the United States Mint. Roosevelt's portrait is surrounded by the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1999. The word liberty represents one of the most important principles of the United States, symbolizing freedom, democracy, and individual rights. The phrase, "In God We Trust," is the official national motto of the United States and has appeared on American coins for many years. Some citizens view the phrase as a reflection of religious faith and national unity, while others see it as a traditional expression connected to the country's history. The P mint mark appears near the date, identifying the Philadelphia Mint. Collectors often examine the obverse carefully to judge the quality of the strike, the brightness of the luster, and the amount of wear or damage on the surface. Coins with strong details and clean surfaces are considered more desirable, especially in uncirculated condition. The reverse side of the 1999 P. Roosevelt dime contains a symbolic patriotic design featuring a torch in the center. The torch represents liberty, enlightenment, and freedom. To the left of the torch is an olive branch, symbolizing peace, while to the right is an oak branch, symbolizing strength, courage, and stability. Around the edge of the reverse are the words United States of America and 1 dime, identifying the country and denomination of the coin. Near the center appears the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one. This motto reflects the idea that many states and people together form one united nation. The reverse design combines classical symbolism with American patriotic themes and has remained largely unchanged since the Roosevelt dime series began in 1946. Even though the dime is physically small, its design carries significant meaning connected to the values and identity of the United States. The 1999 P dime was struck using a copper-nickel clad composition. Unlike dimes minted before 1965, which contained 90% silver, modern Roosevelt dimes are made from a pure copper core covered by outer layers of copper and nickel. This change was introduced because rising silver prices made silver coins too expensive for everyday circulation. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters. It also features a reeded edge, which means the sides contain many tiny grooves. Reeded edges were originally designed to prevent people from shaving silver from coins, although they are now mostly a traditional design element. The durable clad composition helps modern dimes survive many years of circulation in pockets, cash registers, banks, and vending machines. Millions of 1999 P dimes were produced, making them common in circulation and generally worth only face value in worn condition. However, collectors may pay higher prices for coins in exceptional uncirculated condition or for examples with rare minting errors. The year 1999 was historically important because it marked the final year before the new millennium. During this time, the United States experienced rapid growth in technology, the rise of the internet economy, and widespread excitement about entering the year 2000. The famous Y2K computer concerns were discussed around the world, and many people viewed 1999 as the end of an era and the beginning of a new century. Coins like the 1999 P-dime circulated during this period of technological transformation and social change. Although small and ordinary in appearance, the dime became part of daily American life during an important historical moment. Every coin passed through the hands of workers, students, families, businesses, and travelers, connecting it to the everyday experiences of millions.